Summit, Rio Plus 20 Summit held in Brazil in 2012, where key decisions were made on environment and sustainable development. We are now in the process of implementation of the Rio Plus 20 outcomes. Distinguished delegates, the following are some of the measures being undertaken by the government of Kenya in this regard. We are in the process of finalizing the multilateral environmental agreement strategy, which will assist Kenya to implement MEAs in a coordinated manner and to maximize impacts. An initiative to update and review National Biodiversity Strategy Action Plan for the period 2010 to 2020 is underway. This strategy will address the critical issues and challenges facing biodiversity conservation in Kenya. We are in the process of finalizing the assessment and documentation of our natural capital, and this will result in the establishment of a database of our natural capital to assist in conservation and valuation of the natural resources in the country. On climate change issues, the country has mobilized our key stakeholders to come up with programs and projects to mitigate and adapt to climate change. In this regard, Kenya has finalized the development of a climate change response strategy as well as a climate change action plan. The country has also embarked on programs to combat desertification, and this includes mainstreaming of targeted intervention areas in our key development plans to guarantee sustainability. As a country, we have embraced sound management of chemicals as provided by the multilateral environmental agreements dealing with chemicals. We are in the process of updating a national implementation plan on chemical management, and further, there's an initiative on the management of mercury to safeguard the environment and health. We are also focusing on phasing out ozone-depleting substances and have programs on advocacy and other alternatives. As you can see, we have an ambitious raft of measures, but the main challenge that we continue to experience in achieving sustainable development in Kenya is inadequate financial and human resources. Madam President, that's just a short report. I thank you.
Thank you, Kenya, for your statement. The next delegation on the list is Thailand. You have the floor, Thailand.
Madam President, Excellency, distinguished delegates, environment and sustainable development is an important matter for Thailand. For decades, His Majesty King Bhumibol Adulyadej's philosophy of sufficiency economy has been ingrained in our national development agenda. Our country's vision in development has always been about sustainability for the purpose of securing a sustainable future for all. Thailand is of the view that it is essential for international community to build on the results of the Rio Plus 20 Summit. As for Thailand's part, we submitted the outcome of the summit to the Cabinet, and as a result, the Committee on Sustainable Development has recently been established. The committee, which is chaired by the Prime Minister of Thailand, comprises of many relevant agencies. To reaffirm our commitment, Thailand is also in the process of drafting a country strategy on green growth for the year 2014 to 2015. The strategy aims to promote 6 policies, namely green growth, production and consumption, the use of economics and legal instruments in environmental management, readiness for all sectors in adapting to climate change and natural disaster, sustainable management and use of natural resources, and creation of green society. As a member of the Open Working Group of the General Assembly on Sustainable Development Goals, the Royal Thai Government, in collaboration with ESCAP, co-hosted the Asia-Pacific Ministerial Dialogue from the Millennium Development Goals to the United Nations Development Agenda Beyond 2015 in Bangkok in August this year. It was the first regional ministerial level event to discuss the United Nations Development Agenda Beyond 2015, following the release of the report of the high-level panel of eminent persons on the post-2015 development agenda. Thailand hopes to continue contributing to the ongoing global processes. Madam President, distinguished delegates, Thailand has a grave concern over the impacts of climate change we are experiencing today. It is essential for us all to build a strong and healthy environment to minimize the effects of climate change to our natural resources. Climate change is weakening our natural resources across the country and around the world. Thailand emphasizes the importance of adaptation as well as loss and damage for developing countries. Particular effort should be given to enhance climate resilience, risk management, risk reduction, and disaster response. As one of the most disaster-prone countries, Thailand stands ready to work with international community towards protecting our hard-earned development achievement from being shattered by natural disaster. Thailand hopes to see that developed countries who have taken the second commitment period of Kyoto Protocol will successfully raise their ambition level within the year 2014, as well as developed countries which are not yet part of Kyoto Protocol or have not joined the second commitment period. They should also share the same responsibility in raising their ambition within the same period of time and seriously take a comparable mitigation commitment under the framework of the UNFCCC. Madam President, water security and water-related disaster are matters that we should never fail to address. In May this year, Thailand and the Asia-Pacific Water Forum successfully hosted the second Asia-Pacific Water Summit. As a result, the Chiang Mai Declaration was adopted. The forum allows leaders in the region to demonstrate their promises to ensuring water security and the efficiency use of water resources. For the future and on the related matters, the Royal Thai Government also plans to co-host the 6th Asian Ministerial Conference on Disaster Risk Reduction in June 2014, with the United National Ministerial Conference on Disaster Risk Reduction. This, of course, will be another forum for the region to address one of the most challenging regional and global issues, as well as sharing knowledge on how to use science, technology, and innovation to develop more comprehensive early warning system. Thailand believes that science, technology, and innovation, together with information and communication technology, are essential components in achieving the goal of sustainability. Madam President, last but not least, the issue of biological diversity is equally vital. In line with the global commitment made in the Convention on Biological Diversity, Cartagena Protocol, and Nagoya Protocol, Thailand is expeditiously drafting a 9-year strategic plan to manage biological diversity in the country. Thailand is also going through internal legal process and constructively working on a detailed roadmap and proposal to successfully ratifying Nagoya Protocol in the near future. I thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Thailand. Now I have two more delegations on my list. Republic of Korea, followed by Japan.
Madam President, distinguished delegates, climate change is probably the most serious threat to the survival of the whole ecosystem, including the humanity. Since the inception of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, UNFCCC, the international community has made efforts to develop an effective legal regime on climate change. It adopted the Kyoto Protocol and it agreed on a Bali roadmap. In 2011, in Durban, countries agreed to end the Kyoto Protocol by 2019, and last year in Doha, countries started negotiating what the post-2020 should look like. The UNFCCC is built on the principle of common but differentiated responsibilities. The new system will have to respect this principle. The principle does reflect historical responsibilities and does ask developed countries to do more. However, it does not lose sight of every country's responsibilities. Therefore, the new protocol or any other legal instrument should invite all the countries, both the developed and the developing, to take action. The new system should be flexible enough for every country to participate. Taking this opportunity, my delegation would like to thank all the member states for their support to the Republic of Korea in hosting the Secretariat of the Green Climate Fund last year. This fund was established with an eye to support developing nations' adaptation and mitigation efforts. And I would like to echo my Indian colleague, and I also expect all member states' continued support for the GCF so that the fund can be an effective system in tackling climate change. Last but not least, my delegation would like to appreciate the Indian government for its leadership it has shown in hosting the 11th Conference of Parties to the Convention on Biodiversity. Next year, Korea will host the 12th Convention of Parties of CBD in October. My delegation wishes this event will turn out to be a great success, and I wish all the member states of ALCO to participate in this process. Thank you.
Thank you, Korea. Japan, you have the floor now.
Thank you. Madam President, on the question of climate change, Japan considers that the current international efforts are being focused upon how to attain the goal of a fair and effective post-2020 framework applicable to all parties, and all possible endeavors have been exerted internationally to reach agreement on the details of that framework and achieve the 2015 agreement. Therefore, the forthcoming meeting of COP19 to be held in Warsaw, Poland, will be a crucial meeting to deliberate intensively upon the elements to be included in the future framework and determine specific work schedule for the next 2 years towards 2015 agreement. It should be stressed the future agreement should be one which would duly reflect the present world's real situation of greenhouse gas emissions by all parties. Madam President, with regard to the question of biodiversity, at the COP11 held